This is a video for Algebra 1 Summer School, Unit 2, Lesson 2, Graphing Lines. We're just doing more with graphing lines this time. Last lesson, what we looked at was how to graph lines and write equations of lines in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. A lot of times we are given equations that are already in that setup, but oftentimes, especially in Algebra 1, our equations don't quite look like y equals mx plus b. So we have to solve for y. We have to go back to Unit 1 and use those solving skills very carefully. So we're going to have 4 examples here of how do we solve for y and then graph the equation. I'm going to start with the equation 6y minus 2x equals 12. Like any good solving equation problem in Unit 1, we drew our little line down so that we were really careful when we solved. Since I'm solving for the variable y, I need to move everything that isn't a y. So I'm going to start by adding 2x to both sides. That way, those 2 x's are gone, and I'm just left with 6y on the left equals 12 plus 2x. Now, I talked in Unit 1 about why we cannot combine the 12 and 2x. It's because they are not like terms. The 12 doesn't have an x, so they're not allowed to be added together. So in order to get y by itself, I now have to divide by 6. It's easy enough on the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side, I have to be careful to divide every single term by 6. When I do that, I get the equation y equals 12 over 6 is 2 plus 2 over 6x. I can simplify that slope if I want to and get the equation y equals 2 plus 1 over 3x. Now I have an equation in slope-intercept form, which is really handy so that I can graph the line. I know that my slope is the number here in front of x, which is 1/3, and my y-intercept is 2. So when I graph this line, I always start at the y-intercept, my starting point, and do rise over run. My rise is up 1 over 1, 2, 3. I'm going to continue using that slope in both directions until I filled up the graph with my points. Then I go ahead and I graph the line here. There you go, and that's it. Let's look at example 2. I start with the equation this time, y over 2 equals x minus 1. I always start with drawing my line right down the middle. Now there's actually only one step involved in getting y by itself. Since 2 is in the denominator, that's really y divided by 2. And we talked in Unit 1 about how the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So I end up having to multiply both sides of the equation by 2. But I have to be really careful on the right. I don't just multiply the 1 by 2. I have to do every single term times 2. Just like I divided everything, I have to multiply everything by 2. When I do that, I end up with y equals 2 times x is 2x minus 2. Negative 1 times 2 is 2. But that's it. Now I have my equation in slope-intercept form. The slope is 2, that's this first number here, and the y-intercept is negative 2, the number by itself. When I graph, I start at negative 2, that's my y-intercept, and my slope of 2 means I go up 2 over 1. Right? If it's a whole number, I'm always going over 1. Okay. So I fill all those points in, and I go ahead and connect them with a nice straight line that I used my ruler to graph. Okay. So it's 2 different types of solving problems so far. One where I had to divide, this one where I had to multiply. Number 3, 2x plus 3y equals 6. This is very similar to the first problem in nature. I start by drawing my line, and I need to get y by itself, which means I have to move the x term first. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 2x from both sides, which leaves me with 3y equals 6 minus 2x. Just like example 1, that 6 and 2x are not allowed to combine. Now I have to get rid of the 3. So what I end up doing is dividing every single term in the expression by 3. That gives me y by itself. And y equals 6 divided by 3 is 2 minus 2/3 x. That's actually your final answer because the fraction 2/3 does not simplify. So I end up having the slope of negative 2/3 this time. That negative is included in the slope. And the number that's by itself is 2. So I go ahead and plot the y-intercept first of 2. And because my slope is negative, I have to go down 2 to the right 3. Down to right 3. Every time I go to the right to start my slope, but the up and down is dictated by positive or negative. Once I filled in all the points, I can go ahead and graph the line. All right, one more. Let's see what number 4 gives us. Y minus 1/4 equals 1/2 x plus 6. Before I can even deal with y, I actually have to handle the fraction. It looks like I need to distribute that 1/2 to both terms. So I end up with keeping y minus 4 on the left equals 1/2 x, and then 1/2 times 6 is 3. Now I don't have parentheses. Always our goal when we're solving is to get rid of the parentheses first. Now it's easy. I add 4 to both sides, which is the opposite of subtracting, which gives me y by itself. And I have 1/2 x plus 7. That's my equation. From that equation, the number that's in front of x is 1/2. That's my slope. And then 7 is the y-intercept. So when I graph this, I start at number 7. My slope of 1/2 means I go up 1 over 2. Once I filled in to the right, I can go backwards to fill in on the left. For our last problem here, we'll take our ruler and we'll get a really nice straight line. So combining 2 skills that we've been working on in Unit 1 was solving equations. Unit 2 is graphing lines. All right, this lesson put them all together. Go ahead back to Canvas. There'll be some short practice on solving for y and graphing.